Hey, you no-good, grubby little leech. I want to know just how long you plan on surviving off of all my dad's hard work. Don't you realize we'd all be so much happier if you just got out of our lives? I haven't heard from you in so long, and this is the way you break the silence? I feel like you've been completely ignoring me around the house as well, you know. I really don't know what's gotten into you, but I'm starting to get a bit sick of it. I mean, you're not even cooking the meals that I'm making for you anymore. And just who do you think you are talking to me as if you're my real mom, huh? You really need to remember your place in this family, you parasite. I'm sorry that you don't like the way I worded things, but I don't see how anything I said was false. I don't care what's true and what's false. I just know that I want you out of our lives. I really don't understand. Why are you coming to me and saying all of this all of a sudden? It's not so sudden for me. I know that my dad and I are going to be just fine on our own. We don't need some outsider leeching off of my family's wealth anymore. I'm sorry you feel this way about me, but maybe you should talk about these feelings with your father first. Then maybe we could all talk about this together with each other. Maybe your dad would even agree to move out and take you somewhere. And just why would my dad have to do something like that, huh? It's his house. If anyone should have to leave, it should be you. I really think that you should talk to your father about this before we carry on with this talk. Besides, I make $100,000 a year. What am I leeching off of anyone? I think you just want me out of the house is all. But what I don't get is what you think you're going to gain by doing so. What am I going to gain? Well, that should be obvious. I'll finally be ridding my family of a disgusting parasite that's been living off of us for years. Even Dad is getting sick of having you around. He's always talking about how he has to work all day, but you always spend all of his money. Meanwhile, you hardly leave anything for him to spend on himself. Did your dad really say that? Even about him having to work every day? Well, it's true, isn't it? You're always coming and going to and from the house whenever you want, but Dad only ever goes to work and comes home, and that's all he has time for. And it's all your fault. You keep a short leash and don't let him live his life the way he wants. I hate what you're doing to him. Tina, I really think that you need to get a grip and reassess the situation. And I don't say that for my sake, but for yours, okay? Just what do you know, huh? Don't pretend as if you know what I want. I know that you're a selfish woman who only ever does things for herself. That's why I want you out of our lives forever. I am trying to tell you that you're making a mistake here. You really need to go and talk to your dad about this. He can explain it all. Let me go and talk to him for a moment, and then I'll come back to you, okay? Can you please just give it a rest already with what you say to Tina?
What the heck are you talking about? I don't really care, but can you lend me some money? I'm almost through my budget for the month, and I need more. Come on. You know that you don't give me enough anyways. Just give me a little more.
You want even more money? What happened to all that I gave you already? How did you spend it all so quickly? Anyways, we're going to be talking about money after I say what I came here to say. You need to have a real conversation with your daughter and tell her the truth about what's going on. The more you put that off, the worse my relationship gets with her. I am tired of her talking down to me, insulting me, and treating me like an idiot because of you, Todd. I am seriously starting to reach my limit. Do you understand me?
I don't know what you want me to do. She's your daughter now, too, you know. Go be a good mom and learn how to control your children better.
Control her? Todd, she's already 17 years old. This isn't about controlling her. It's about giving her the information she needs to make her own decisions about life. You have to stop lying to her and telling her false information. She blames me for every single problem we have. It isn't fair that I should be the one taking all of the heat because you don't want to step up and tell her the truth. All of this would be solved if you weren't such a coward.
I will talk to Tina about my life when I'm good and ready to. Okay?
No, not when you're ready to. Now. You've been saying, when I'm ready, for years now. Don't you realize how this is affecting us as a whole family?
Yeah, of course. I know all that. And if you just give me a little more money, I'll really think about saying something. I promise. Now come on. I'm seriously down to my last few dollars. You've got to give me something.
You really are just the worst. Do you realize that, Todd? Hey there, Anna. I see that you've left for the day. You know that you don't need to bother coming back home ever, right? And just what is that supposed to mean? And since when did you start calling me by my first name? I mean that if you're already out of the house, you should stay out. All you do is make things worse, so just keep away. If you have something you want to say to me, why don't you just come out and say it? Well, I actually sent off the divorce papers for you and Dad. That means that you and him don't need to live together anymore. Dad and I are going to live together, and you'll have to go and figure out your own life. So you really did send the divorce papers for your father and I? And just how did you manage to get away with doing something like that? Well, you probably had no idea about this, but Dad had already printed out the divorce papers and kept them in his desk. I happened to see where he put them one day when he tried to hide them from me, and so I dug them out while he was away. I saw that he had already signed his name all where it needed to be. I really do need to thank Dad for being so prepared. So then you sent out divorce papers that your dad had already signed without telling either of us? I have to say that I am shocked at you. And since you don't even have a job, you probably won't be able to find a place to live now, too. I warned you that you should do a little more research into this before acting, but are you sure you really want me out of the house? Of course I am! This is what I've been waiting for forever! I feel like I'm having a dream come true! I'm finally getting to squash the horrible leech that's been on the side of my family for years. I feel at ease. It's like a great burden has been lifted off of our shoulders and the sun has come out after a rainy day. Just the thought of you being cold and homeless on the street is bringing me so much joy! Well, if this is what you really want, good luck, I guess. The one who's going to need luck is you! Whatever you say. I guess I'll take my leave from the house then. But I just have one last thing that I think you should know before I leave. And what last pathetic words do you have to say to me? I'm not the one who doesn't have a job. That would be your father. Wait, what is that supposed to mean? I mean that you said your father told you that he goes to work every day. That's a lie. All he does is spend his days at the casino wasting our money. Wait a second, you expect me to believe that? That's just ridiculous. Why would Dad lie to me about working? And why would he be spending all day gambling? I suppose this really is the first you're hearing about all of this then. But it's true. I'm afraid that everything your father said about me was just to protect his own reputation in your eyes, Tina. I don't get what you mean. This doesn't make any sense. Why would he need to worry about his reputation with me? I don't know. You should ask what he would have to gain by belittling me in front of you like he has been. He wanted you to take his side in everything. And you fell for it like a sucker. You defended him no matter what I tried to say, and you believed every lie he told you about me. No, this doesn't make any sense. You better start explaining yourself right this moment. In that case, one other thing you should know is that no matter how much your father put me down, he never wanted to throw me out of the house. And yet little did he know that he was pushing you to do just that to me with all of his lies about me being jobless. No, this can't be right. You're just trying to lie to me because you realize that you're getting kicked out. Well, I'm not listening. You're just some crazy old jealous loser. You can believe me or not. It won't really make any difference. But the truth is that I was giving your father money every month. He hasn't made his money in a long time,
And yet you listened to everything he had to say about me.
You really don't know when to stop all this, do you? I already said that I'm not listening to a word that you have to say anymore.
Again, you are more than welcome to ignore all that I'm saying. But quite frankly, I've had enough of you two as well. But soon you'll be an adult, and you'll have to take responsibility for taking care of yourself. And then you'll have to choose whether to keep living with your father or go out on your own.
I've actually learned how to take care of myself for a while now. We don't need you in our life anymore, so just beat it.
Well, okay. But you do realize that if I leave, that means I won't be supporting you or your father anymore, right?
There you go again, making up more lies. What support have you ever given? You really think that I'm going to fall for that? You act like you've given Dad and I everything when all you've done is taken. I know you're lying, so just stop it already.
I'm not trying to upset you, Tina. I really am just trying to warn you. I just hope you don't regret what you're doing.
Just shut up already, you old hag. Don't pretend like you're all that when you're really nothing. I never, ever want to see you again. You were never my mother, and I'm glad you're gone. Don't ever think of me as your daughter again. As of today, you're nothing to me. We are complete strangers.
Okay then, I understand. I am not your mother, and you are not my daughter. Now, please don't come to me for anything else.
Hey! Pick up the phone when I'm calling you, you stupid old witch! Can't you tell that your daughter is panicked?
I'm sorry, but I'm in the middle of work right now. Besides, I thought that you said you were going to stop calling me.
But you were telling the truth about everything!
I know that. What of it?
Well, so now I finally know that you were! Please, you have to come back home to us! Dad is so mad all the time. I need your help!
I really have no idea what you're talking about. Besides, I don't even have a daughter.
What do you mean? How can you say that?
I didn't. You did. You told me to never think of you as my daughter again. So I'm sorry that you're having a rough time right now, lady, but that doesn't have anything to do with me. Anyways, goodbye.
Hold on a second! Is this supposed to be some kind of joke? I'm your daughter! You can't just walk away from me!
I'm sorry, but I've already told you that I don't have a daughter. We're just strangers to each other, remember?
Wait, no, you're not really going to abandon me, are you? I didn't know Dad doesn't make any more. And he's so mad at me for sending the divorce papers. He's so scary and angry all the time now. I don't understand what happened.
So I guess you finally understand the kind of man your father is now.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that I was always trying to protect you from him, but maybe that was my mistake. Because he took advantage of that and lied to you about me instead.
But I had no idea he was that kind of person. I thought that my dad was kind and sweet, and what should I do now? He doesn't have money, he doesn't work, he doesn't do anything but gamble and drink.
I suppose you'd better find a job and start working then.
But I'm still in high school. I could only work a part-time job at best, and I have no idea how I'm supposed to go to college at this rate.
Yeah, and to think you wouldn't have had to take out any loans if I was still around.
What do you mean? You're not going to send me to college either?
Well, I had a whole college fund saved up for my daughter, but since we're no longer family, I'm afraid that I can't pass that on to you. So I'm afraid the only option left for you now is to work for your money.
Mom, please, you have to help me.
Please don't call me Mom. I already told you that I don't have any children. You and I are nothing to each other now, and I owe you nothing. You wanted it this way despite my attempts to warn you, and now you need to take responsibility. You're almost 18, so consider this your first real life lesson.
But I had no idea that Dad was lying to me. This isn't fair! How was I supposed to know that you were making all the money in our house?
I tried to tell you the truth over and over again, but you just refused to listen to me.
Well, then can I at least come and live with you? I hate living with Dad. He's so scary all the time. I'm so sorry for everything that I said to you.
I'm afraid that I have a policy against letting strangers stay in my house. Besides, how do I know that you won't just fall into your old ways of looking down on me and insulting me all the time?
But I need your help. I don't know what else to do.
Well then, take your first step as an adult and figure out what to do. Good luck, stranger. In the end, Tina realized that I was only ever trying to tell her the truth, and that it was her father who was lying to her this whole time. It was quite a shock for her to realize this, and she fell into a deep depression afterwards. Shocked by learning about her father's true nature and forced to start working to take care of herself, Tina ended up dropping out of high school and working to sustain herself and her father. She tried to message me asking for help, but I had already blocked her on everything by then. I do plan on stepping in to help her eventually, but if I'm going to pour all my money and heart into raising her, I think Tina needs to learn some lessons about the real world before I put her back on track.